Why should I marry a bulldog? Martin Luther King fought for us to have equality. So that I could be with my white swan man. Say Martin Luther King said I'm sorry. Hello, knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And as you know, I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. Over the past year on this channel, we've used viral video topics as teachable moments in our own lives for self-loving through relationships instead of self-abusing. And so you all send me topics, and you all are still sending me topics on that direction. So I'm jumping into this because I'm getting a lot of messages from women, Black women, who want me to speak on this, sending me all types of videos and posts about this. Man, they said, we're going to be talking about this football player who said that Black women are bulldogs and he doesn't want to settle on a bulldog. He's happy with his beautiful white wife or whatever the case. Oh gosh, listen, you know, I already told you all this when I did that ASAP Rocky video where he was talking about he's a bad bitch. And I don't have the capacity. This is why I ain't put on no eyebrows, not a makeup, and I ain't got on no brassiere, because I ain't doing it. I'm not getting dressed up. I'm not primming and proppering up myself to come out and talk about these topics that I really don't want to discuss. It's like, you know what? But listen, I'm doing this video because, you know, to satisfy the people, because this is what the people want me to talk about. And I'm confused as to why you want to hear my voice on it when there are so many other bloggers who are posting about it. This time I've seen Black men coming out posting about it. So now we have trained them up to come out into the media. Excuse me, let me adjust myself. And yes, my shirt is see-through. I don't care. I just don't care. Let me adjust. There we go. All right. So yes, oh God, so there are Black men who are coming out now and they're speaking on it. I don't know why you need to hear my voice, because when we did that video with the baby bird king, I stated that I was making a shift from talking about Black American men and the issues of toxicity, which are specifically related to the mental enslavement and spiritual encryplement that these men have faced in this country, which have left them cut off at the knees, crawling around on elbows and sockets out there, making all types of stupid asinine comments out there. So basically, for those of you who don't know, let me just explain to you what's going on out there. And as you see, I'm chewing gum. I'm laid back. I got my titties swinging down low. I just don't care. Let me explain to those of you who don't know. There was some football player whose name I'm not interested in knowing. But by the time I post this video, I may add it in the tags for other people so that they will know that yes, I have spoken about this. Some football player from some team who plays in America, some Black American man who... he posted up pictures of his pretty white princess, and people were coming out, speaking about whatever it is they're speaking about. Then here he come. Why should I marry a bulldog? Martin Luther King fought for us to have equality, so that I could be with my white swan man. Say Martin Luther King said I'm sorry. All right, so okay. So MLK fought for this man to be able to have his white wife. And the thing is, I'm like, I don't care. Why we care? Why do we care about what this no-name, unknown, have any of you heard about or from this man before this incident, before we made him viral on this topic? And it's like, there's self-love and self-esteem and worth that needs to be expressed on both sides of this equation. You know what? 3 sides of the damn equation. Because on his side, he's married to a white woman who would allow him to go out there and say this dumb ass shit in public. There's a lot going on. You know what? I took notes, but I ain't even looking at them damn notes because I'm not here. I'm not bother with this. I'm no business. So listen, let's talk. So what is this? So the self-love. Look, he needs to love himself enough to, number one, listen, you got your pretty white princess, right? Why do you need to come back out and attack Black women? Love yourself, because if you feel that your features, the one that your mother passed down onto you. And listen, let's talk about his mother. Listen, you know what? I'm all over the place and I don't give a damn. You watch this video if you want to. I don't care. All right. Listen, when I first read the statement, it reminded me of a girl I knew in college who was kind of like a bulldog. And she was kind of like a bulldog. She was short and stout, had little arms, and she was, real packed, right? It also made me think of Evie. She called herself a pit bull in a skirt. There are many black women who exhibit pit bull-ish characteristics. And part of the reason that we need to do that is because, look at it, goddamn, ain't nobody out there defending us but us. So we got to be little pit bulls out there latching on our jaws to people. But it's that same energy, that same fire, that same fighting warrior spirit that them does come back to, that they need. Oh, they love that fire of the black woman when she's fighting for you, right? Or when she's advocating for you. Yes. Listen, you know what? Listen. Because as you all know, I am a warrior. I have warrior energy that has been passed down to me from the ancestors through the ages. And I know when people need an advocate, when they need you to fight, when they need you to latch your jaws and get locked jaw down onto a topic or a mother effer, oh, they love to come around then, right? Oh, but then when they get what it is that they need and they just bounce. Okay. So you need the pit bull energy to raise your black ass up out of the ghetto, the damn ghetto. You need that pit bull energy to fight for you and the rights of our people, to help lift you up off your kneecap knees. You need the pit bull energy, pit bull. I keep saying pit bull because I don't care about this topic. So you need the pit bull energy then. Oh, but then when it's time for you to settle down and make somebody princess or queen, you go and you make the person who was raised in luxury, who had the luxury. I mean, we got men out here talking about pregnancy is not a handicap. She could work until her 9th month pregnant with twins, so that the white man at her job has to tell her to please go home and rest, because the black man that she's married to doesn't give a damn. Talking about pregnancy is not, she's carrying your children in her womb. Anything can happen. But so the white man at her job had to tell her, please take a rest. You all remember that? The mule in her jackass. We talked about this a few months ago. Let's go forward to the next thing. All right. So they like that pit bull energy when it benefits them. But then when time comes, then when they want to get a little princess, they get the woman who was raised in the patriarchy of men who allowed these women to rest in their feminine. They leave you and your pit bull energy there barking alone, barking at me to come speak on this dead ass, tired ass topic. Why do I give a damn what this mentally enslaved Negro has to say? He's ignorant and he hates himself, and he's with a dumb bitch who hates her goddamn self and hates him too. How can any woman sit back there behind the scenes and allow a man to speak about the women who brought forth his DNA, who share his DNA? You think I could sit there dating a Nigerian man and then listen to him talk about Nigerian women, and me sit there on a throne feeling like I'm better and higher than them because I'm with some mentally enslaved ass wipe? You think I could do that? So it's like self-love needs to be on each side of this angle, because we saw the video where the people were like, cheers to more light-skinned babies. There's all these black football players sat around there cheering on vacation, talking about cheers to more light-skinned babies. Because there's a part of them that hates a part of the man that they're with, that they're like, I want to use a part of my DNA to wipe out your Negroid features, to wipe it clean so that we can brighten it up. And listen, if that's what they want, I'll go for it, because we saw them on vacation. The black man standing there in his shorts, his muscles gleaming in the water. But his white woman and his little light-skinned baby got on hats, shades, sunscreen over their nose, all types of creams and stuff all over their body. Listen, if they want to dilute themselves and water down the melanin, you go on right ahead. Because I know something about climate crisis, which is coming upon our asses right now. And I know about that melanin magic. And I know that we're going to need as much melanin as we can get going forward. So if he wants to go dilute his bottom, Let the man go dilute his bottom hole. Let him go. Let him do it. That's fine. Me, I'm trying to get reabsorbed into the blackness, baby. I'm trying to get reabsorbed back into the blackness. As you know, I'm on my way to Mama Africa. So if he wants to go there and dilute himself and give his children a genetic disadvantage, oh, I said it. Yes, I did. Less melanin is a genetic disadvantage. You want to go fill your child with recessive genes? You go right ahead. You want to wash out this beautiful blackness that we have? Go right ahead. Do it. Do it. Let me get my notes back so that I can make sure that I can say everything that I wanted to say inside this video so that I can get out of here. All right. So here, listen. I told you all inside that video with that baby bird Kang, how that man was feeding him. I mean, that woman, listen. How that little square back woman was feeding him. Little light-skinned chick feeding him while he's there like, bah, bah, Martin Kang. Like the little baby bird that he is. I showed you all the picture on my Facebook page of the black man laying up there in big ass adult diapers, sucking on a bottle of Hennessy because he wants to retrovert back to his infant days. This is what we're dealing with. This is why I'm like, I told you all in that video that I'm making a shift away from talking about Black American men. Why should I? Why should I? It's like Black American men really have no bearing on my life. I realize that, and I've been realizing that recently. You know, and it's like, you know what? And I get it. There's so many of you out there who don't know better. But this is what I'm saying. Go where you're celebrated. Why are you spending time worried about what this stupid bottom hole, this pato has to say? This payaso. Why do we care? You're wasting time reaffirming all of the self-doubt that you have inside yourself about the queen that you are, about the beauty that you possess, about the magnificence of your melanin, and yes, the magnificence of your warrior spirit too, because that warrior energy has been needed. We would not have been where it is that we are right now. It's like that callousness. I learned that when the calluses are gone, the hands are too raw. I learned as a life coach that the people that you see with the hardest exterior, that these are the people that are so soft and tender on the inside, that there is so much fragility that exists out there, that they put on these hard, tough outer shells. And Black women, it's about time that we left niggas alone. Niggas who don't mean the best for you, who don't have your best interest at heart. Niggas who cannot lead you because they are so mentally enslaved and so spiritually defunct and so emotionally crippled that they're not working on their issues. That this woman accepted a man who harbors all of this ill feeling about the women from whence he came, the women who's freaking, he has the XY chromosome. So he carries the chromosomes of his mama inside of him, so that when he gives forth birth, he's giving forth birth from his DNA, from his mama, from that pit bull DNA. And you know what? On another note, listen, like I said, we don't know the caliber of his mother, because at the end of the day, doggone it, can you imagine if your brother, if your pops, your uncle, your cousin, or somebody like that said some shit like that in public about the women of your family? You want to see pit bull teeth? We would rip him to shreds. Why do we, the public who does not know this man, gotta rip him a new bottom hole? Why? I don't know him. The women in his life really need to sink their teeth into him. The Black women in his life, the white women in his life too. But then, listen, I posted up a post on my Facebook page today about a Black man, who was dating this white woman who he went on to marry. The first 2 Thanksgivings of their relationship, her parents, due to racism, would not allow the man into their home. He had to sit in the car and eat alone, while the woman that he went on to marry would eat inside. And we showed you that thing with Caesar, who was scrubbing feet 7 days a week, scrubbing the corns off of white women's feet so that he could be able to afford a luxurious lifestyle for a woman that he's never met. He's given up $40,000 over 5 years. Listen, this is why I'm saying, go where you're celebrated. I have the question, besides violence, what bearing do Black American men have on your life? Besides the fear of them enacting violence on you, besides the fear of turning around at an ATM and seeing one of them in a bad neighborhood behind you, besides walking out, or if you're not in the right neighborhood, on your stoop and seeing them selling narcotics out there. They don't control your food supply, your clothing supply. And it's like, what bearing in my life? Because I learned many years, I learned recently, I learned through just observation recently that I haven't dated a Black American man in years. And the last one that I did date was the one that I told you that I believe was violent, but it never got to the point of violence with me because I saw the early warning signs of potential problem, the USOPs, and I got the hell out of there. He was a Black American man. Other than that, I've dated Caribbean men and Nigerian men. This is who I've dated. And these have been, when I look back, I had to take, you know how you take the time to write out what your relationships and this, that, and the other? When I did my relationship mapping, I noticed that the most dysfunctional, the fuckery, the mind games, the stupidness, the foolishness was all Black American men. The standing you up, the talking about sex on the damn first the day you damn meet them. They're talking about their dicks and all this other stuff, and they not showing up. They don't hold their word. They act like you owe them something in exchange for rubbing 2 pennies together in your presence. Like you need to be happy to, like, if the goodness forbid, there's so much dust blowing around that goodness forbid you find one who's dusted himself off years ago. He dusted himself off, but the fog of it, just like Pigpen from the doggone Peanuts, the fog of the dust is still circulating around him. Goodness forbid that he's one of the 25%. Listen, in Black colleges, HBCUs across the United States, only 25%. This was the last time I checked. 25% of the student body were men. So 75% of the people who were enrolled in HBCUs across the board in the United States were female. And this was as the last I checked about 5 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but you can tell me below. So it's like there's this imbalance of women coming out, getting educated, and then not really having their Black counterpart there. So goodness forbid he gets himself a little bit of education, maybe a piece of paper with a ribbons around it. Oh, then all of a sudden he king shit, big shit. Nah, he can treat you any ways that he wants to. But no, it's like we are on my Facebook page. Speaking of dust, if you want a dust-free experience, come to the new page, Tanya TKO TV. I've abandoned the old page because it's just pure nonsense over there. I've attracted the freaking attention of too many dusty-ass Black American men. And I just had to just abandon the page because they come out blowing all of their dust and dysfunction all around the place. So much so that I even felt angst about going to my own damn page. So the new page, Tanya TKO TV on Facebook, it's growing, and I'm blocking people left and right because the dust tries to finagle its way over, and I just block off the page. So nonetheless, when I look back over my life and my dating life, I realized that the most amount of, now listen, I'm not saying that African men or Caribbean men are perfect. I am not saying that at all. But when we talk about the building blocks of wanting to create a family, a cohesive family unit, with priding his semen and not just squirting it out willy-nilly. Now, Caribbean men on that front, just I've seen too. Listen, mental slavery exists in many different facets. It's up to you to find because listen, they had colonialism in Africa. They had slavery in the Caribbean. And there is something about being raised in a majority white society that cripples the mind of Black men. According to evolutionary psychologists, men are going to naturally gravitate towards which woman is considered the prize of that society, whether that means the one with the most rings around her neck, the biggest holes in her ear, the slimmest waist, this, that, and the other, whatever is the defining level of beauty in that society, the men are going to gravitate towards. When you live in a majority white society, unfortunately, this is what you're up against, with people abandoning what it is that they know to go for what it is that they think is the prize, scrubbing corn 7 days a week so that they could be able to afford this quote unquote prize. Because no, they don't want you. Because look, you remind them of poverty. You look like poverty. Your hair look like slave hair to them. That your lips, your African, your Negroid features look like something they want to move away from, because when they want to get more sophisticated and all this other stuff, they want to make sure they get themselves some European features. So they want their kids to have the advantage. They want their daughters to be the look that they fetishized before they moved on up to the Caucasoid woman, so that they can be able to take their coffee and cream and make a cappuccino, which is what they really would like in the first place. Because they don't, come on. You know what the doggone, how do I put this? You know what the true fantasy of desire is. Because when all is said and done, listen, Thanksgiving just passed. How many of you receive phone calls from your exes because their woman is feeding them some damn string bean casserole with the doggone crunchy onions on top? How many of you done got contacted by some exes of yours because they with some woman who don't know how to throw it down in the kitchen? Listen, because they miss those barbecue days. They miss playing spades and dominoes. They miss the amazing facets, because what they would really like is something in between. They would like, that exotic standard, that's exoticals, the beauty of the exoticals, with still being able, because listen, I'm going to tell you this right now, right? And you may not want to hear this. Some of you may not want to hear this. But when a Black man goes out there and gets with a non-Black woman, the bulk of the Black traditions fly out the window. The children don't know how to cook that fish and grits. They don't know how to get that cornbread done quite right. The collard greens ain't hitting on nothing. They don't know how to get them candy yams and them sweet potato pies and the pecan pies. They don't know how to do all of that because Papa doesn't know how to teach him. With a mentally enslaved, broke down brother like this one, he's probably trying to move so far away from that. He's like, give me the crunchy onions. And so he's like, oh, crunchy onion, I'll take some. Feed it to me. Bah, bah. So, so it's like, the traditions don't translate when the man goes out there. And you're going to need those soulful matriarchs to come through, to throw on that Temptations music, and to throw on that Gladys Knight and the Pips and that Donny Hathaway. Chris, you know what I'm talking about. Hang all the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. So it's like they need us to pass on those things, the recipes, all of those things, to make the barbecues fun and exciting. And listen, I love being Black. Being Black is an experience, and it's an amazing experience. And it takes moving away from that. It takes being outside of that. Listen, in California, it ain't the same. I'm telling you, it ain't the same. They don't have neighborhoods like the neighborhoods of New York. Being in a commuter city, being in a city with a majority of people of color, it's a different experience than being out. It's so bland. Crunchy onions, please. Oh, let me finish up my list and get the hell off of this video. Listen, if anything, we can have pity. We can have pity on this man. If anything, we can have pity on him. He's lost. Why do I have to come out here and sit and talk about this man? some lost man. I told you I'm creating a new direction. I'm getting ready to go to Nigeria. I'm working on creating a way for us to be able to make money as Black women so that we can thrive. So many of us are single mothers out here with nobody looking out for us. And so many of us are averting our attention to men who don't give a damn. Like I said, Black American men have no bearing on my life. Years ago, they used to make inventions, but since integration, what really? You know, we had the Black Panthers who came out and did some wonderful things, but there were even some misogynistic issues there. But in the past 50 years, really, Black men have been kneecapped. They're crawling around on stubs and stumps, trying to find some facet of their faux imagined masculinity. It's like, it's really going to take them being denied access, because there's far too many of us who are allowing these men to live on through our DNA, making them immortal through our wombs. And it's only going to be when they are denied access and really have to look in a damn mirror. It takes doing a lot of self-work. It's only when they have to look in the mirror that they realize, you know what? I need to do better. What money am I going to make? What industry am I going to lead and be an innovator in? You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know. So look, I talked on this topic. I didn't know I would talk for so long about something that I cared so little about. I want your comments below, please. Let me hear your comments below, because I'm perplexed. Black women, love yourself enough to go where you're celebrated. Forget these bums. Thank them for expressing their foolishness out loud. So you say, oh, I know how you feel. And then you move on to somebody who feels how you... Look, I done. Look, Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. Let me see if I have any copies of my books inside my bag right now. Oh, I took it out to put it by my bed. Listen. Go to my website, Tanya TKO. Oh, you know what? It's on Amazon because I'm traveling right now, so I'm not shipping books. Go to Amazon and search for Tanya TKO. My self-love book is on Amazon. They're doing one-day shipping. These make great Christmas gifts. Start your new year with giving yourself the affirmations that you need to be able to thrive. Because I'm making a complete shift. Well, I guess I don't have the capacity for these fools. Where are they leading you to? Are they leading you to your best interest at heart? I want you to think. Just think. If you listened to every bit of direction that you received from a Black man, if you followed every bit of direction for where he was leading you, where would you be right now? You'd probably be someplace bust out with multiple STDs and children that you cannot care for. It's like, I'm tired of women having to be the responsible ones, the upstanding ones, the ones with self-control. That's why I'm saying gravitate towards men who are men that you can respect, men that you can look up to, men whose leadership you would want to be under the guise of. You don't want to be under this man's leadership. Who is he? He is his wife's problem now. Like that man who was sitting out in the car, eating Thanksgiving dinner in the car, while the woman that he's dating is on the inside, and he still married her. More power to you, baby. Listen, Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is not getting up in arms for every Tom, Dick, and Kareem who says some dumb foolishness out there. Love yourself enough to know, and just, you know what? But like I said, we have to have that self-love inside of us. We have to have that self-love inside of us so that people could say that, and we can love ourselves enough to be able to go where we're celebrated. Go where you're celebrated. And listen, explore. Date different types of men until you find the type of man that exhibits the characteristics that are most conducive to who it is and where it is that you want to be. Listen, Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace.